Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of What the Hell Am I Playing? This is your host, Larnon, and today we're going to be looking at an indie title called Greed Black Border. It's a hack and slash RPG, kinda. It's reminiscent of Diablo, kinda has that overhead view, which you'll see in a second here. It was developed by Head Up Games and Clockstone. Head Up is probably best known right now for Super Meat Boy. They've also done Post-Apocalyptic Mayhem and Trap Dead. The publishers Meridian 4, which are not entirely unknown. They're Still Life 1 and 2, Siberia 1 and 2, and they've also published Post-Apocalyptic Mayhem. Now, I've played a little bit of this, not a whole lot. I originally bought it to kind of play on co-op, so yeah, I'll get into that in a second here. We're just gonna... Right, so, it actually crashed. If you can believe that. Yeah, it kind of just crashed right as I hit start here. So, not exactly a great start, I have to say. The, multiplayer, just buying this off of Steam, I think it's like $4.99. The multiplayer won't work off of it. I had to use a program called Game Ranger to even actually get it to function whatsoever. But it's not a complete disaster. I've never actually had it crash just from the opening like that, so that was a random fluke, I think. Like I said, I played a little bit of this. It kind of worked on multiplayer, but that made me lock up at random points throughout it. Whenever I was trying to play it with a friend of mine, it just didn't work sometimes. So
a speaker of the High House of Camulos has confirmed that in the legal vacuum of empty space between the colonies, a further 14 ships belonging to pirates, gamblers, and ex-mercenaries have been destroyed. Thus, the new policy of the uncompromising tough...
The 5 Earth colonies, Condatus, Tyrannus, Urkura, Nito, and Camulos, dissolved their alliance 15 years ago. Together with political intrigues, it was above all the dispute over Icarium which caused the breaking off of diplomatic...
Icarium enabled a quantum leap in space travel. The gold-colored hybrid metal used in drive systems has reached its highest price since its discovery 4 years ago. The few source locations are kept a strict secret by their rich owners. Whoever has enough can use their superiority over other colonies.
Approach to damaged mining ship completed. Docking maneuver is being initiated. Distress signal analyzed and authenticated.
Safety release of docking plans for launch to be actioned by new Con 5 executive personnel on the bridge.
Yeah, great. Where do I find the bridge?
right. So this actually crashed again a couple times. I'm gonna go with possibly it doesn't like fraps, because it was not doing that before, so we can hope for that anyway. We'll see if it keeps doing it or not. Anyway, yeah, familiar kind of perspective. I quite like it. You can zoom in and out, there's really not much of a point, but there you go. So, I haven't played this in a while. Like I said, I kind of bought it to do on co-op because I just like games like this on co-op. I mean, I used to play D2 all the time for that. Oh yeah, I forgot dodge. Ah, there you go. I like the game. I really like the music, honestly. If you got it in the very beginning of the video, like on the menu screen, and even that little bit of it that you get from the opening movie. I really like it, I do. It's quite cool. So, some parts of this beginning I'll probably remember, some parts I won't, but I will show you at least the leveling system, a little bit of combat, stuff like that, and there are some fairly interesting puzzle mechanics in here as well, which I quite like, and they're certainly worth a look. Like I said, this game's only $5, so it has its problems apparently. And obviously it really doesn't like fraps or something. I'm not sure what was going on there, but yeah, you hold down shift, shoot without walking. I don't even think you need to hold down shift if you're actually clicking on the thing. But yeah, it's fairly basic, it's fairly familiar, and I like it. And here's one of the little kind of puzzle mechanics here. You gotta shoot this thing to get rid of that field, and then shoot this wall to get back through it. Aha! Yeah. So, kinda neat. I'll try to go through this a little bit. Oh god, that's a lot of dudes, actually. Now, considering this was developed by the guys that made Super Meat Boy, they're certainly not afraid to make a game hard. You do get hurt pretty well. And yes, you actually hold Alt to see the stuff on the ground to click it. That's also pretty familiar to me, at least. If you haven't played D2, then you have no idea what I'm talking about, but if you haven't played D2, then you're doing it wrong. Obviously, right? That was a hell of a good game. I miss that. I miss those days, honestly. I went from that to Warcraft, and computer at the time that I actually first bought Warcraft was just like, derp, what are you trying to do to me? This ain't gonna happen, man. So, couldn't get into it at the time. I actually had quite a few problems running it right whenever I got to the town. I started as a druid, so the first town I got to was Thunderbluff, of course. Oh, I leveled. Right, how do we do this? First thing I got to was Thunderbluff, and it was okay running it at the time, right up until I got there. So that was awful. Alright. Actually little bits of the sky were falling down in front of me whenever I got there, and they literally blocked me from progressing into the town itself. That's how bad it was. I couldn't move. I literally couldn't move. I was being blocked by just giant polygonal pointy beams coming from the sky. So that was pretty awesome. So I couldn't really get into that until later, but yeah, playing a game like this kind of takes me back to D2 days. Maybe even a little bit of Baldur's Gate, kind of. Obviously they didn't really have like giant machine guns, but still. So that was the leveling system. I'll show a little bit more of just some of the stuff you can do. I like this because it's obviously very, very good. You can get some grenades, some kind of random field. Yeah, some of these are fairly interesting, to say the least. You can get a nuke. Oh yeah. And I guess a radioactive spike. So, a couple cool things here. Just depends on what you want to do. Hey, a cover system! No! No! Not doing that. And then some passive stuff here. I think you can only have one of these selected at a time, so probably pick something and go with it, honestly. More soldiers. See, that's more of the co-op aspect of it, if you want to get a skill like that. More people that you have running with you, which I think it can take 3. It might be able to take more than that. I genuinely don't know. I was playing it with one of my friends, so... And I actually didn't take that skill. I didn't really read it all that thoroughly. But yeah, some pretty cool stuff. You can definitely customize a little bit. Some of them are a little bit more obvious than other ones. I'm shooting a door that does not actually open it. Right. Some of them are a little more obvious, like, hey, do more damage with your gun. Yeah. Well, these guys take quite a bit of damage, actually. I'm a little concerned. Ugh! They're getting closer. Zombies. Yeah, you have a shield system here, which you can see. Well, now it's recharging. There we go. There we go. Okay. And it also uses some energy for whatever big attack you have. And this is your jumping power, so that's how you dodge. See, it'll refill fairly quickly, so you can do quite a bit of that. I know there's ways to improve it as well. So this is another one of the little kind of puzzly aspects of it. Like I said, it's unique, it's different. There we go. Took a little bit of shield damage, not too bad, right? Now there's a crazy dude with like a chainsaw. And I'll tell you from experience, he hurts like crazy. So I'm trying not to get hit by him. This game will kill you if you are dumb, I will tell you that much. You kind of have to pay a good amount of attention, so I like that though, I do. I like having to actually pay some amount of attention here. And yeah, there's kind of an item system, sort of. I don't remember how to actually, there we go, character, okay. So, yeah, a little bit, I think this is an upgrade. No, not an upgrade. This would be. So you can actually put this into items with a socket in them, like so. And then equip it. Now it's an actual upgrade, so pretty simple. I haven't really seen stores all that much, but the old crap that you have, you can turn into recyclable materials, which you may be able to sell later on in the game. Like I said, I didn't really get particularly far in this, but this is not the best time to go. No! Okay. Just a bit of fire, not a big deal. And onward we go. Into a room full of crap. Happens quite a bit, actually. There is really not a great deal of combat lacking in this. There's quite a bit of combat. But there's also some neat little puzzles and stuff that will kill the crap out of you if you fail at them. Which, most of those are a little bit later here, I'll tell you. I actually think this room is a waste of time, other than it really tries to kill you. Which, yeah, you're not seeing me take a whole lot of damage, because I've actually kind of learned my lesson with it. It will try to kill you, eventually. You might even die from the start, I don't know. The first time I played through it, even in that little opening room, I didn't realize these things did so much damage. These little saw things, they will rip you apart. And then that big zombie dude that was holding a freaking saw, yeah, he'll kill you fairly quickly. Just want to point that out there. But, yeah, there's not really a whole lot of complexity to this. Like I said, there's some good puzzles and little things like that here and there, but it's not that difficult or complicated of a game. Oh, I totally forgot about this. Yeah. So, you can do a little bit of bullet dodging if you want. It really just depends how much damage you're taking. They've taken a little bit of actual health damage now. That shield doesn't recharge all that quickly in combat, so once it's gone, then you actually start to take some damage, and it'll add up. Or it'll just kill you. I don't know.